The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with
Getting back to actually Cedar Fair news.
Yeah, definitely got some exciting Cedar Fair and Cedar Point news. And hopefully we'll start getting the back, because we're 41 days until opening day for Cedar Point, which is exciting. I'm not
less
exactly
than 3 weeks for Kings Island. I think it's 20 days.
Is it 20 days? Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy because it almost feels like, I don't know why, at least for me, but it feels like the off season feels just as long for Kings Island, even though they're open until like December 31st than it is for Cedar Point. I don't know why. It's weird.
Well,
Maybe it's because
it is Winterfest and you don't get all the coasters.
Yeah, most of the parks
that,
closed.
but as I say, but also it's kind of interesting because it's like as soon as December 31st, it's like, okay, but you go through all the holidays with Kings Island to where, at Cedar Point, you're pretty much done at Halloween. And I don't know, maybe it's just in my head, but that's what I feel. So I'm excited. Summer's just around the corner. We're starting to warm up a little bit. We're getting some cold swings here and there and everything, but it's 50 degrees a day. So, everything's,
Kyle, what's the weather in Orlando?
It's been very nice this week. We're sticking around like high 80s, mid low 90s.
Oh my God, wonderful! I'm so happy.
That's
for
great. You look like you got a nice tan. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, well,
Looks
I do.
Like you got rid of the mustache too. If anybody was wondering about that,
I don't think any of our listeners actually saw the mustache because we haven't gone live on Facebook in a long time.
It's been a while. Yeah. It's been a while. Just because like all of our schedules are all up in the air, and we're doing this on a Sunday early afternoon. So hopefully once the season starts, we'll start doing hopefully we'll go every week, and if not, we'll probably most likely go every 2 weeks and have a new episode. So
yeah,
definitely, because there's gonna be a ton of dragster talk.
Yeah,
the reimagined and things like that. We'll be able to opening day. We'll be able to see. Well, actually, before opening day, we'll be able to see. Be able to see some updates. Whatever. We're gonna go a little out of order, Kyle. So starting off is gonna be Cedar Point is going to have Ohio State Day, on I believe May 5th. Yeah, that's the day before opening day, May 5th. It is from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. And your season pass does not work, so you have to buy an admission ticket. And it's Ohio State Day, so anybody can go. It doesn't, you don't have to be like in going to the school or things like that. You can get discount tickets though if your student does have a student ID number. You can get $33.99 for those student ID tickets, which is pretty nice. But also the first 4,000 people get a really cool like Buckeye T-shirt. They also have free painting or free face painting and characters. All kinds of Ohio State giveaways throughout the day, and more. But admission tickets. Oh yeah, Brutus is there. The band's there. We went last year, Evan, when it was like the worst day ever.
It was the worst weather day in like park history.
The worst weather day ever.
Yeah.
And it was so cold. It was so rainy. But what was really nice is Cedar Point actually said, hey, if you bought any of these tickets, we're sorry about the weather. You can come back anytime during the season and have a free admission ticket, which is actually really nice. So I used mine, I think, in like June or July or something like that with my brother. But yeah, so it's a really cool kickoff to,
Did you
Cedar
say how much
Point's,
it is for pass holders to get in?
Pass holders? I don't have that number offhand for pass holders, but I know admission
like
tickets
$21 or something
are $48.99. So it's like $50, and then I think you also have to pay for parking. But if you buy parking beforehand, you can get it for $15 instead of paying $25 at the gate. And then the pass holder discount is going to be $25 each. So you have to show your valid season pass in order to get into the park. So $25 for a pass holder, not bad. And like I said, it's a quick preview that you can go, check out the park and everything right before opening day. You can see everything that is pretty much new. So if you think about it, there's only 40 days until opening day at Cedar Point. And I'm just going to roll right into this. But yeah, so we've got some crazy construction updates, at least from the Cedar Point webcam. You can always go on Cedar Point's website, check out the webcam anytime. Really, really clear images, really cool. It's live, but you'll be able to see that obviously Wild Mouse construction has been done. They're working currently, it looks like, on the station. They've got 2 Wild Mouse cars on the track. They've also poured the foundations for Atomic Scrambler and also Matterhorn. Those are right in front of the actual Wild Mouse coaster. And then they're also working on the roof, and it looks like they're putting siding on and painting and doing everything that they can with the Grand Pavilion. Currently,
which looks beautiful.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say currently they're working right now on a Sunday afternoon. They did lose. It looks like they were supposed to work yesterday, but they decided not to work on yesterday because the weather was really windy and bad and probably not good for roofing conditions. So they're currently working on that as we speak, as I see the guy in the man lift on the very top of the Grand Pavilion. And you can kind of see the midway coming together a little bit. I'm curious to see if they're going to do some brick pavers, or if it's all going to be concrete and brick pavers, or if it's going to be concrete, brick pavers, and wood to kind of like make you think you're on a boardwalk or something. But yeah, so everything's coming together. You got, like I said, you got Ohio State Day, which is the day before opening day. So that's 40 days. I'm sure they're going to have a media preview or something. So probably have around 35 to 38 days to get everything buttoned up and ready to go. So you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I know Tony mentioned that Zamperla was going to be out there this past week finishing stuff up, and Tony mentioned himself that testing would probably begin on Wild Mouse soon, but the way that it worded it sounded like it could be very well be this week. So keep an eye on the webcams for that. And something I noticed
unless they turn that.
Well, yeah. Something I noticed is that the Tiki Twirl sign is now missing from Calypso in preparation of Calypso's name coming back. And there's some new cement over in front of Giant Wheel that looks really nice. So they're working. Yeah. It's getting close.
I really like
sand and all that dirt and everything has to be transformed into some kind of a walking path. So it's going to be interesting to see everything. Everything, yeah. So
I really like the angle of this Frontier Town cam. It looks like it's mounted on like the top of Maverick Station, pointing at Magnum, Gemini, and Mine Ride. I think that's really cool.
It's actually a really nice picture. I was gonna say it's actually on top of the old Skyride building. That's the restroom building next to Mine Ride.
So this is Mine Ride Station.
It's got that cool angle. Yeah.
Okay.
So yep. That's so you'll be, if you watch that live, you'll see a bunch of, because there used to be, before they had that webcam, there used to be a bunch of birds that would sit on the very peak of that thing. So you'll actually see a bunch of seagulls like always swarming around and
I'm watching it right now, and there's a lot of seagulls flying around.
So, but yeah, I like that. It gives you a really cool like image of like the park, like a different perspective and stuff, which is really cool. But when Tony moves it, you can see, I think Skyhawk, obviously you can see Maverick. It was looking at our favorite restaurant, Farmhouse, and yeah, so
awesome.
So there's our updates for what we can see.
Well, speaking of opening day, we are going to bring back our semi-yearly tradition. We do it twice a year.
Yeah.
Bi-yearly tradition, maybe. Yeah. The opening day photo is going to come back this year. So if you want, you can meet Karsten and Evan, and undecided if I'll make the trek up, but might be a possibility, and take a photo with all of the CP Rundown fans. So this year, weather pending, we're going to actually do it on the beach, outside of the park, on the beach, facing the Grand Pavilion at 3 p.m.
So the background will be the Grand Pavilion and the Ferris wheel behind that. And we think that'll be a really cool shot. So as long as the weather holds up for once, not like last year.
Well, hopefully it's not a windy day because it'll be really tight trying to have to
in
wear
which case
like
we'll probably audible and move it inside somewhere. But
if
it's a decent enough day, we'll do it out on the beach. But we'll be active on social media, communicating.
Yeah, definitely stay posted about it. We'll probably make a social media post, an event sign up thing. And you don't have to sign up. It's just a reminder on Facebook to see if you're coming or not, because we would love to see everyone out there and say, hey, we love the podcast, or hey, I had no idea you guys had a podcast, and I saw this on Facebook and stuff, but oh wow, because there's a few times that we've gotten a few messages saying, hey, I didn't even realize you had a Cedar Point podcast. I searched on, I think it was Apple Podcasts, and was like Cedar Point, and I think they said there was a few that popped up, but they said that, not to toot our own horn, but ours was pretty well done. So congrats to Kyle on his amazing amazing structure that he's got going on here. So
I was listening the other day. I was in the car. I listened to the very first episode we did, and I remember how excited we were, but man, I gotta be honest, it sounded terrible.
It sucked.
I'll have to do that.
We've grown a lot.
I don't want trip,
to. I don't listen to the episodes at all. I hate the sound of my voice. Everybody hates the sound of their voice in voicemails or audio recordings. I'm like that, and I just can't sit down for an hour and listen to me talk.
I don't listen to every episode, but there's some that I'll play back.
Yeah, not me. I trust that Kyle's doing a good job and putting it together right. So I'll
listen to it just because I'm it's really weird, but I'll be like, oh, I missed some things. Like when we talk about stuff, sometimes my mind wanders and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot to say. Oh, I was like, oh, I didn't even realize I agreed with Evan on that. I'm like, oh, well, good thing it was something.
Evan was actually being an idiot there. I don't know why I nodded my head.
But yeah, so.
How to transition this at all, but there's some, of course I get the food talk. No, but this is something that actually my mom discovered, but it's really exciting for us. It is still the off season, so if we're looking for a taste of Cedar Fair during the off season, obviously Cedar Fair owns Knott's Berry Farm out in California, and their big thing is food, country fried chicken, and particularly anything having to do with boysenberry. You also may know, if you're a local, that there is a Smucker's store, like the Smucker's brand jelly store in Orrville, Ohio, which I think is 40 minutes away from the Cleveland area. And I guess Smucker's is a distributor or something of the Knott's Berry Farm stuff. So if you go there, you can find not the full selection of the Knott's Berry Farm stuff, but you can find boysenberry jam, strawberry jam, and raspberry jam. So I sent my mom down there to pick up some boysenberry jam because I've never had anything boysenberry, and I was really excited to try it. And it just tastes like raspberry or black raspberry to me, but it's really good. And if you're just a fan of specifically Knott's Berry Farm jelly over Smucker's or whatever, make the trek down there.
Does it say?
Little taste of Knott's Berry Farm in Ohio.
Does it say anything about Cedar Fair on the actual jar?
I
mean, I can walk away here for a minute. And,
I was going to say, I actually have one in my fridge. They sell it down here too. It doesn't mention, it doesn't really mention anything about Cedar Fair or really the theme park. It's more just Knott's.
It has a Knott's Berry Farm logo on it.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I was really excited because I've never tried anything boysenberry from Knott's, so I was happy to finally try it. And I do like it. I've been putting it on my PB&J sandwiches. They've got that
crazy boysenberry fest, Kyle.
Yeah, that's going on right now.
Right?
Yeah, I attended in, let's see, it would have been 2019 I got to go, and it was really good. I didn't try everything, but I tried a good amount of stuff.
Is it similar to like Frontier Fest in the sense
Yes.
that instead of we have like we do Frontier Fest with cherries, everything's cherry themed. It's just a food fest with everything boysenberry themed?
Essentially, I mean, it's a food festival style, and like, God, I'm blanking so hard. Frontier Festival, where they have the food booths, and you can go up, and each booth has different little specialty food items. But theirs takes place throughout a good chunk of the park. Theirs isn't just contained to one area.
Yeah, I like that. It keeps the crowds dispersed.
Yeah.
So.
And I know you haven't been, Evan. Have you been to Knott's, Karsten?
Nope.
All right, so there's our 2023 podcast meetup right there.
Yeah, we really got to get the CP Rundown credit card out for that one.
Well, I'm actually going to Knott's and all the parks in California late July. So yeah,
I don't know
knock that off my bucket list.
I don't know about the Cleveland Hopkins Airport, but here at MCO, we just added a route on a Velo nonstop to LAX for like 60.
A Velo!
Wow.
Or wait, no. Oh my God, no, it's not a Velo. No, that's what you flew, right?
Yeah, that's what I flew.
No, it's Breeze.
From Dayton.
Breeze.
Oh, Breeze. I've heard really good things about Breeze because Breeze goes out of Akron, Canton, a little bit further away from Cleveland, and they do a lot. I've actually really cheap flights to go to around the Carowinds area. They go to Charlotte, so it's like
how much did you say the flight was?
Yeah, so they just added a new route here at MCO probably about 3 weeks ago. It goes from MCO to John Wayne, which isn't LAX, but it's actually closer to Knott's in Disneyland, with fares starting at $69.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys,
if you ever want to fly.
I can get there pretty cheap.
Wow, that's awesome. Is it?
Well, yeah, you've got the whole MCO. You've got every airline that known to mankind that goes into there.
Yeah, really.
No, Evan, it's not 69 round trip. That's each way.
Still, okay, 140 round trip.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
To go all the way to California, that's a good deal.
That's a haul too.
I've only flown into LAX, like that area, twice. I got really lucky the first time. It was a Delta flight, like $171 round trip. And then the second, that was on Delta. The second time I went out was on American, and we had a couple layovers, and that was like $300. So yeah, flights to California are not super cheap.
Yeah, I think when I went to San Francisco and did like Great America and Discovery Kingdom. I'm trying to think. I think mine round trip was like $400 on United, which isn't bad for a United flight, but that was also in 2019.
Yeah, most of the time
$400 was really up there.
Yeah, most of the time I fly into California, it's either Sacramento or San Francisco.
Yeah, weren't you out there like a week after me that year in 2019?
Yeah.
And doing like the same thing I did. Mm-hmm. Where did you do San Francisco that trip?
Yeah, so my aunt lives in that area. She lives in a suburb of Sacramento. So we did Great America and Discovery Kingdom. But Karsten, I'm really interested to hear what parks you're doing, because like it takes you like 9 hours to drive from one end of the state to the other.
You know,
are you just doing LA or?
We're supposed to do Knott's Berry Farm, Magic Mountain. I think we're doing. Oh, obviously we're doing. What is it? The California
Great America.
Great America. Yeah, Great America.
So
we're
doing
that one.
See,
LA
so
that's
where I'm confused, because from like the LA area where you're starting with Magic Mountain and Knott's, it's like 7.5 hours to drive to California's Great America.
Yeah. We're doing it.
Oh,
rental car in it. And are you then flying out of San Francisco or Sacramento?
You know, I don't have any of those details. I believe we're flying out of LAX, but I don't exactly. Lauren's the one that planned this whole thing. It was like a birthday / Christmas / birthday.
Man, okay. Well, she's done a lot of trips, so I trust her judgment. But
yeah, she's got everything all planned out. She's got
Disneyland. No.
But she did surprise me. We actually are doing Universal there, so I'm pretty excited.
That'll be cool.
Yeah,
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, and we're also supposed to go. There's like a boardwalk over there. We're going to
Santa Cruz.
Yes. We're supposed to do that.
I love Santa Cruz.
And we might be doing like Discovery Kingdom too, maybe something like that. It's like a 6-day thing. So.
Yeah, Discovery Kingdom is really close to California's Great America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could skip Discovery Kingdom though. It sucks.
Gotta get the credits.
Yeah, I know. Kyle, well, we're getting way off the rails here, but it's funny you mentioned that your aunt lives out there because mine also lives out there, and that's how we did this trip. Mine lives literally 12 minutes from Great America.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's funny how similar.
My aunt and uncle both live out there, not that close, probably about 45. They live in a suburb of Sacramento called Gold River. So it was like 45 to like Great America and Discovery Kingdom, and then like 45 minutes to San Francisco.
Nice.
So I've done my fair share of California theme park trips, but I've never tried to do like all of those in one. That sounds like hell.
That's gonna be a haul.
I mean, like it'll be fun, but you're gonna have to get comfortable in the car.
So just so you all know, we will not be recording that week.
Yeah, that's far enough in advance.
All right, should we hop back on the rails here?
Yeah, I got stuff.
You said there. What else? What else did you discover?
I have another foodie thing. So if you've been to Carowinds, Dorney Park, and outside of the Cedar Fair realm, Hershey and Kennywood.
I think Dominion has it too.
Kings Island.
Kings Island does not. Kings Island does not.
Okay.
I feel like they used to though. Wasn't it right under the Eiffel Tower?
I thought they did. Someone email us that knows and say yes, they did used to have it, or we're idiots and say no, they never had it.
I know maybe they might have, but I know they don't currently. And that thing is Rita's frozen custard. I know they're really big on the East Coast. Like they have standalone shops everywhere, like in Maryland, Virginia, PA, all that stuff. But so that's kind of always been one of my traditions, going to Carowinds, Dorney, and then Hershey and Kennywood as well, to get a frozen custard from Rita's. And they just opened a standalone store up here in Ohio, and I think it's their first one in Ohio, in Elyria on Chestnut Ridge Road. For me, from my house, that's like 10 minutes away, so that's kind of dangerous. But yeah, it's a full blown. They have all their different flavors, and they kind of rotate every day. I've been there once so far, and one of the Italian ice flavors was chocolate covered strawberry. Fantastic. Highly recommend. And their thing is you're supposed to mix the custard with like a slushy, which is kind of weird. It sounds super weird, but so I got that chocolate covered strawberry with chocolate custard, and it was fantastic. So yeah, this is another, if you're in the area, it's out there in Elyria on Chestnut Ridge Road, kind of right off of 58, I think. We're at 58.
Good little road trip, yeah.
Yeah. Even if you're in the Sandusky area, it's worth a drive. I mean, we drive out there for, I don't know, just to walk around in Sandusky, so you guys could come out here. And
if you really want to know where it is, I can probably call in Dean. He lives in Elyria. Well, he lives in Florida, but his family lives in Elyria.
He probably lives like footsteps away from this place. So yeah, that's really exciting. I absolutely love Rita's. It's like right up there with like Dole Whip on my amusement park treat list.
Ooh.
So
okay.
Which I believe is also starting to get sold in stores. But we're not a Disney podcast, so we'll leave that for another day.
If you really little plug here, if you really want to get Dole Whip at home and you have like one of those ice cream makers, you can buy the mix directly from Dole, like the actual powder. There's no dairy. It's non-dairy. You can just buy it in a big bag. And then they give you directions on like the powder to water ratio, and then put it in your ice cream maker, and it comes out great. It's a little bit of a different consistency than you get at the theme parks because it's not like traditional soft serve, but it's really good.
Maybe this is just shooting off the hip or whatever. Maybe if we get like 300 followers by the end of summer or something, we'll end up like one of us will like either buy an ice cream machine or whatever, and we'll make it literally almost like live on the podcast, kind of.
Oh my god, that'd be like fun,
right?
It makes it quick. You know? We used to do that at my parents' house all the time, and we had one of those ones that you would get like the bucket, and then you would freeze that, and then put the mix in. It would make it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we do that. We're
that.
about. I think we're around like 100 followers right now, but if we get to 300 by the end of, say, I don't know, the end of summer or so, so tell everybody about the podcast, share it on your Facebook on your Facebook.
You want to see us make Dole Whip?
If you want to see us make Dole Whip, and we'll go live on YouTube, like or on Facebook. we will do it as a live episode, and you can see our, at least whoever's making it, you can see the reaction and see, you know, how it goes and everything. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Speaking of
All right.
speaking of reactions, I signed up for the Midway box, the Midway
Midway
game night for Cedar Point that they offered. So I'm excited about that. What that entitles is, it's almost like a know your knowledge about Cedar Point, and also
pop culture too.
Pulp culture, yeah. Which is really cool. I think it'll be. I can't wait to try it. It'll be cool. I got the last date because I totally forgot, and then I was like, oh, and I looked, and everything was sold out except for the last date. So it looks like I'm gonna be doing it on April 13th, which is on the Thursday. They've done them all on the Thursday, but the box includes, I get microwave popcorn, Midway microwave popcorn. I get a cool coaster cutout for the Wild Mouse, which is the cheese car, which is kind of cool.
Woo. I already bought that.
And
I had to get a cheese car.
It also comes with I like this shirt. It's really cool. It's almost like that webcam view of, you get Maverick and then you look over a little bit and you can see Magnum in the background. But it's Team Maverick. And then you also get the Knott's Berry Farm, the concentrate to make the boysenberry punch. So maybe we'll do that on a podcast too, since I'll have that. I'll try that out. And also,
bring
I
it
get
to
a
the
$10
park. I want to try it.
Yeah.
I forgot to let you try it when you were here, Evan. I have some in my
I know. That was like one of the big things that we talked about. Like we were driving from the airport. I'm like, Kyle, you have boysenberry stuff. I want to try it, and then we never did.
Yeah,
Sad.
but it's also like, they're like, think about like boysenberry margaritas or boysenberry sagritas or something like that. Like, oh wow, like boysenberry punch. It sounds really good. I guess they give you recipes too. There's a little recipe card.
Wait, can you guys just absolutely wasted and get on the Midway game night with this boysenberry stuff?
Hey guys, my name's Gus.
Oh, the podcast.
I like roller coasters and Raptor.
You know, back when I was a little more of a heavy drinker, I would mix it with vodka, and it was good.
Ooh.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. I probably will literally make the concentrate when I try the game night and stuff, and I'll obviously tell you guys how it was and how cool it was.
That I forgot to try it when I was in Florida with Kyle.
Nah, you know, it happens. It's all right though. But yeah, so I'm excited about it. Hopefully it comes back next year, and maybe they'll do more
maybe like a whole off
more
season
weekends, stuff like that. I know that they've got 2-Bit Circus that's doing it. They're the ones that are pretty much hosting it and putting on all the questions and stuff and everything like that. So I'm excited. Cool little trivia night. It'll also pass the off-season time and go by a little bit faster. So I'll be trying out that trivia and watching the webcam at the same time. So
and getting wasted on boysenberry stuff. Or being a good noodle and making it properly and
then be like, oh yeah, if I say Raptor's my favorite coaster out at Cedar Point, then there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad coaster. Coaster.
I love Raptor, but I do have a new favorite invert over Raptor. So shout out to Montu.
Right. So, but anyway, speaking of opening soon, you said what? 3 weeks or so. Kings Island's supposed to open up.
Yeah.
Kings Island opens for pass holders the 14th, Friday.
Yep. And then opening date is Saturday, April 15th.
Yes. So that's what we said, 19 and 20 days.
I'll be going down there for a day trip.
Yep. I'm actually going to stay overnight Friday and a Saturday. So, yeah.
Okay.
Kyle, you want to talk more about the happenings at Kings Island? Because they've also made an announcement this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to them, opening day coming up, they didn't just announce that. One of their seasonal events, Spirit Song, which is a Christian music festival, they have announced the full details for that. So I know a lot of our friends like to go to that. I've never been, but if you're into that sort of thing, it's going to be from June 15th to June 17th this year, so it's a weekend. And it says Spirit Song Festival is back this summer at Kings Island's Timberwolf Amphitheater. Get ready for your favorite weekend of Christian music with Toby Mac, Crowder, Skillet, Lecrae, Torrin Wells, Newsboys, and more from June 15th through June 17th. And then if you actually go in to try to learn more about it, there's a couple different packages they sell. So there's a VIP Platinum 3-day ticket that you can get for $165. There is a 2-day ticket that you can
cheap.
Yeah, there's a 2-day ticket that you can get for $75 and a 1-day ticket that you can get for $45. So this
Does that include admission to the park?
I do not believe so. Actually, it says right here, admission to Kings Island is you actually don't need admission, it says. Admission to Kings Island is not required to attend the concert and is not included with your ticket purchase.
Okay. So it's at Kings Island, but if you only buy the ticket, you can't get into Kings Island.
No, you can just get into the Timberwolf Theater. So I guess, none of those prices include admission to Kings Island. But there's deals all over the place to get in there.
Yeah.
So.
But if you have a season pass, I mean, there you go.
I think a lot of people do that would go to that at Kings Island.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I think that might be a crowd control type of thing.
Yeah. Kings Island has one of the biggest.
If you go to Kings Island on a day, there's a concert. Whew,
yeah. They have one of the biggest pass holder bases out of any Cedar Fair park, actually. I mean, it's huge.
I'm just going to say that Skillet is going to bring the house down, because I don't know if you guys have ever heard their music, but they put on a really, really good show live. Their concerts are really, really good, especially also Toby Mac too. I'm looking at the schedule right now, and they're all closing out the show. So Crowder's really good, Toby Mac's like freaking awesome, and then Skillet's just like off the wall, like.
Isn't Skillet really cool with their like pyro and lights and stuff?
Yeah. So they'll have like fire, they'll have like crazy flames everywhere, like even out throughout the whole entire venue and stuff that they set. They're just insane. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to go to the concert, get on Drop Tower at like 10 p.m. that night, and you'll get a little taste.
Yeah, you'll be able to see that. Yeah, for sure.
I'm also really confused if you go to like the info. I know, Carson, you're probably on this site. There's a promotional video that's been put out, but I cannot for the life of me figure out what coaster this is. It's definitely not something at Kings Island.
All right, I'm on it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's not.
This is my wheelhouse.
Yeah, this is Evan's wheelhouse for
and
sure.
Neither
I'll stall.
Like
Where is
5.
This?
So
this is if you go to buy tickets on Kings Island's website, on that link
through the Spirit Song.
Yeah.
Is that in Spirit special events? Yeah. Okay. Whoa, slow internet. Okay.
Yeah.
I got this. Buy now.
But yeah, it looks like
on that buy now page, Evan, there's going to be something in like the upper right corner that says event info. And if you click on that, and then like also the next shot is some park that's just clearly not. Oh wait, no, that is Kings Island. Okay, so the next park is Kings Island. But
okay, I'm watching like a video of a floorless coaster go up the hill, and it's like yellow and blue.
Yeah, what is that?
If that wasn't like an alteration of colors on a ride, that's got to be in like China.
It's
because I don't recognize that in the U.S. at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like a floorless coaster.
It's yellow. It's yellow, and then the track is yellow, and it looks like it's got like some teal supports throughout. It's got
like Skyrush colors.
Yeah, it's definitely a B&M coaster.
Yellow.
It's not at Knott's, is it?
No.
Yellow and blue floorless coaster.
California.
Google.
I don't know. It could be. It could be.
We should
Patriot at California's Great America, but I don't think it's that color.
No, it's not.
We should also say that this website / this video doesn't look like it was made like by Kings Island.
It's not. It's made by something called Premier Productions.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and say that this is in China.
All right. Well, that was just my little disclaimer.
If anybody knows what this coaster is, feel free to email us and let us know.
I'm going to lose sleep over this.
Yeah, Evan's gonna look scour through
I
roller
don't
coaster
know.
database, try to find any yellow coaster.
Well, that's a good idea.
Oh
wait, I have something to
gosh.
talk about, don't I? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll wait on
so
that.
we only have one more news story left. This was kind of a quick show. But while we talk about that last news story, I'll try to research it and figure it out.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
So the last thing is Carowinds, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but Carowinds finally announced the opening day of their new Aeronautica landing area, which I've definitely gone on record saying I'm a huge fan of not only this, but all the like new themed areas that Cedar Fair has been doing. I think this is the best one so far.
Mm-hmm.
And Carowinds is year round, so people have been seeing this really come together from first person point of view. And rides have started to test, but I think the last time we talked about it, none of the rides really had names and we weren't actually sure what the rides were. So opening on April 7th is Air Racers, which is a Zamperla air race. If you're unfamiliar, I don't think any Cedar Fair parks have one to date, but it's a ride that goes in a circle. You sit in a little airplane on a giant arm, and as the whole ride spins in a circle, these airplanes do 360-degree loops, but you're kind of moving like sideways, if that makes any sense.
It's almost like what Kings Island's getting, isn't it? Or no,
they're
Kings
getting
Island.
more of like a witch's wheel type.
Yeah, I thought
new
there
age
was another Cedar Fair park that was getting something like this, but maybe it wasn't a Cedar Fair
Knott's
park.
might already have one.
It's interesting, yeah.
Just go on Zamperla's website and look at all these rides because they have really good videos that like just show what each ride does.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Gear Spin, and this is another one that I don't really know how to explain. But the model is a Zamperla Nebulas, and you sit like on an arm with 4 seats, but they're 2 and 2 back to back on either end of the arm, and these arms are like intertwined with each other, and they just kind of spin up and down. Again, I don't know. Do you have any better way to explain that, right?
No, I mean, it looks very complex.
Park just opened one of these last year.
It looks very complex, and it looks like you're going to hit the arm every single time, but obviously it's like you're
head and
not
foot chopper city.
But yeah, so it's a fun ride. I don't think you don't go upside down in them or anything, but it looks cool. I think it's supposed to almost give you like the sensation of like almost hitting the person in front of you, but obviously
I think I've never ridden one. I've been in the presence of one at Hershey, but I didn't get to ride it.
I have ridden one there. So
and then the next is Hover and Dodge, which is just a rename and retheme of their bumper cars ride.
Mm-hmm. Which I want to say real quick, it actually looks really cool because I'm looking at the Carowinds blog that they posted. It looks like they put up like
awesome.
They put like a giant tower, and it's like one of the air traffic control towers. It looks like, and I love the sign. The sign looks really cool too.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see some pictures of all this stuff, go to Carowinds.com and check out their newest blog, and it's showing off all of this new stuff and all the construction updates.
Then the last one that is going to open on April 7th is the Airwalker, which is think Pipe Scream, but without the little hill in the middle. So there you go. I could explain that. And it's also a Zamperla ride, I believe. And then this one just says boarding late spring called Gyro Force. And it looks like your old school Trabant type ride. And I also want to mention, this is not confirmed by the park, but I believe I've seen on Twitter that people have mentioned that there is another yet to be announced ride that will be put into Aeronautica Landing. So keep an eye out for that if that's legit or not, but I don't like spreading fake rumors. Then I also should mention that it's going to have a brand new game zone. They're just calling it Aeronautica Landing Game Zone. They show a picture of a basketball shootout thing. And
I was just say they're also showing off a bunch of cool old like aircraft, like they're like old jackets that are like in glass and stuff that you can,
I can
check
bet
out.
that a lot of this like theming elements will be stuff that guys like, like those shows like the American Pickers and stuff. The stuff that they find, I guarantee Carowinds sent people out to find legit stuff. I know Dollywood did that with Fire Chaser Express.
Yeah, it's very, very, very well themed. It looks really good.
And then the last thing, I believe, so this isn't on the actual Aeronautica webpage, Aeronautica Landing, Jesus. but there was a French fry place down there, which that's getting redone and reopened, and I forget what the name of that's going to be. And then I think this is in the old Plants vs. Zombies building, which is the old Action Theater. It's going to be called Terminal A, which I'll just read from the website. Food, drinks, and more. Fuel your flight at a hangar full of new dining spots in Aeronautica Landing. Modeled after high-end and exclusive sky clubs, the new Terminal A restaurant and bar offers top-tier service, delicious eats, and craft beer on a stunning patio. Ask the friendly staff about the history of Carolina aviation and the flight jackets on display. So this is like modeled after like the United Club at your local airport. And it sounds like they're going to have multiple different eateries. So, and I think this is overtaking Plants vs. Zombies. So really, really awesome upgrade there. I think in the Chick-fil-A building, which is like kind of an Aeronautica Landing, they're adding Hugo's Italian food. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
Lots of awesome new food coming to Carowinds, and this is going to be an awesome themed area. The picture that they have of entering the land on like the top of the webpage, just it looks really, really awesome. I'm super excited to check this out. So
I agree.
Yeah,
no, yeah, for
that's
sure.
my quick rundown of Aeronautica Landing.
Yeah, ding. You said rundown.
Aha.
Right. Was Kyle, were you able to figure out what coaster that was?
The only one that I could see that looks somewhat close is Hair Raiser at Ocean Park, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But if you look at the video when it's going up the hill, there are elements on each side of the track.
I think they mirrored it.
Okay, because on Hair Raiser, it has that same element on the left, but not on the right. On the right, it's like rock work.
I think that video mirrored it because of the rock work, because I know Hair Raiser's lift is like right next to an apartment building.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
bet that's
Hair Raiser.
And Hair Raiser is yellow, right?
They probably picked it because it was like super bright yellow and it's very inviting.
Looking at that building underneath that loop, it's definitely Hair Raiser.
Cool.
Gonna like go to be like, where's this at Kings Island? Where do I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, like why just use footage of a ride at this is not Kings Island's thing.
Right.
It's Spirit Song. Like guys.
Right. Like showcase the park.
Coaster.
The park has awesome coasters.
All you had to do was type in on YouTube Kings Island roller coaster and you would have found something.
Or just email Don and said, hey, can we get some POV of such and such coaster that you possibly have, or can we get it themselves? And but whatever, I guess.
Spirit Song social media manager needs a talking to.
I think that they don't care about coaster enthusiasts like Spirit Song, and they're just kind of worried about their whole they're geared towards like the Christian concert giant thing or whatever. So I think it's cool. It definitely draws. I see the picture, and it definitely draws me into like want to actually check out the video, and then I'm like, oh, I like those bands, and I know those bands, and so. But
you're right. Okay, show. Yeah, that's definitely Hair Raiser. I'm looking at it now. Good job, Kyle. Proud of you.
No problem.
I got China right.
You did.
There's the nerd.
Yep.
There's the nerd.
I'm glad it was Kyle and not me. That helped my reputation a little bit.
All right. Well, that's going to about do it for this very quick, kind of all over the place episode. If anybody...
Bunch of quick hits?
Yeah, kind of. Does anybody have anything else before we start the music?
I don't think so.
Roll it.
I assume we will probably be recording within the next week or two or so. And then obviously after Kings Island's opening day.
We're still working on getting that very special guest on. It's looking good. We'll share those details when and if we have them.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
For sure.
Kyle, go ahead and roll it.
Yep. That's going to do it for another episode of the Rundown on Fun. Thank you for joining us. We know this episode was really all over the place, but thank you for tuning in. That's all I got.
It's a lot shorter than last week's, or the last episode that we did was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Almost.
Oh, that one was brutal. I listened to it a couple times.
It was good.
It took you a couple times to listen to it.
Yeah, that commute to work is not the best. Anyway, we'll see you all next week or the week after. Thank you. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.